Alright, hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome to today's first of two gameplay streams. I am Darkside Phil. Today is Wednesday, October 12th, 2016. And if I sound a little bit tired, if I sound a little bit down today, it's because I am. FYI, we did not have a very good night here in our household. Unfortunately, one of our hamsters, which we've had ever since we moved here. If you remember, we moved here in June of 2014, and one of the very first things we did as we were setting up the house is we went and we adopted two pet hamsters, little Hungarian dwarfs. One of them passed away last night, and it wasn't pretty. It was pretty bad, actually. It was sudden. It wasn't anything. I mean, we kind of saw... We kind of knew that it was coming, at least because, first of all, these hamsters, they're Hungarian dwarfs. I don't know how many of you know the different breeds of hamsters. Probably most of you do not, okay? Yeah, these are little miniature hamsters, much smaller than regular hamsters. And their actual life expectancy is supposed to be 1 to 2 years tops. Like, most people who get these hamsters, they're gone within a year. So, we were lucky. We were incredibly lucky to have these two hamsters, both girls, by the way, who actually got along in the 2.5 years that we've had them. It was pretty interesting because we were actually told specifically by the store when we got them. They said, now listen, when they're young, these hamsters are very friendly. But as they get older, they get territorial and they start to argue about things like food and sleeping space. And chances are you're going to have to separate these hamsters because if you keep them together, they might start fighting and they might actually hurt each other. Okay? So we actually purchased a backup cage at one point. Because in all honesty, at one point, I'd probably say about maybe 8 months into having them, they were having issues. They were fighting a lot. Now, they weren't biting each other. They weren't hurting each other. They would just wrestle, basically. They would wrestle and meep. They would do this little meeping sound, which was funny. And, you know, we were very lucky. Because not only were they able to, for, 2.5 years they lived together, besides the wrestling, they never hurt each other. They actually, it was funny, because they would fight, and then they would make up later. They would go and, like, snuggle with each other in their house and everything. It was so cute. Because you would see them, two hamsters fighting, and the next thing 5 minutes later, they're sharing food, and then they're snuggling in their house together for warmth. And it's like, how silly. So, yeah, these hamsters, we were very lucky to even have them for as long as we've had them. I mean, they could have passed away a long time ago. But luckily, for the most part, they were healthy. And then we started noticing, I'd say probably in the past 6 months or so, we started noticing things like, for example... For some reason, they chewed all of the plastic out of the tubes that allow them to go to the upper floors of the cage. And we're wondering, why are they chewing the plastic out of the tubes? We don't get it, right? Why would they do that? Because they would need to go up there. We put things up there. We put food, we put greens for them, we put treats and stuff on those upper levels. And sometimes they like to go on those upper levels to be apart. That was the good thing about the cage we had for them. It was a 3-floor cage. And then, what would happen is, since they ate all the plastic out of the tubes... Then they would climb the back wall of the cage. They would actually, like Spider-Man, they would climb the bars of the cage and jump up to the second floor. And they did that for like a good 4 months. Like, I'd say probably from about May, June, July, and August, they were doing that pretty consistently with no issue. Okay? And then, all of a sudden, we noticed over the past month, alright, we just noticed that they were even having problems getting up the cage. Now, we had actually bought, if you could believe it, we bought them a replacement tube for the cage, and they ate the stairs out of that tube too. So there was no way we were going to be able to get them to climb up the tubes anymore for whatever reason. We don't know what happened. So then in the past month, we noticed they couldn't even get up the back wall of the cage anymore. And we were like, this is not good. And in fact, Leanna and I had talked about it, and we said this week when we change their cage... We're going to put them into the smaller cage because we're figuring they're old, they can't get up there anymore. And what we actually surmised is that the reason that they ate the plastic out of the tube is because they couldn't get up the tube anymore and they were frustrated. They were getting old and they were probably getting sore and they couldn't stand up as well anymore or stretch out as well anymore. And they were probably very frustrated that they used to always be able to get up this tube and now they can't. And they were probably so pissed off they were chewing the plastic out of it after they would fall or whatever. Okay? So, yeah, so that's all been happening. And then as we were actually planning this week, when we changed their cage, we're going to put them in this small cage. I started noticing some things with Cinnamon that was not very good. First of all, in the past couple of months, whenever Cinnamon breathed, she wheezed. You would hear this little wheezing sound, almost like, like there's something wrong with her lungs. Now, there's no way, if you take her to the doctor's going to say she's a hamster, if she's not just sick or whatever. She needs antibiotics. There's nothing they can do. I looked into it online, and they were like, no, there's no advanced hamster medicine where they're going to be able to do something like this for a 2.5-year-old hamster that's past its life expectancy. So really, sadly, there was nothing we could do. We just tried to make her comfortable, and this past week, we really noticed with Cinnamon, she was not herself. She was barely able to walk around. Her fur was standing up on end, in weird places. It just did not look good. So we knew it was coming. And then last night when we went to change the cage, because it's funny, after I work, right? After at night, once I finish my second session or whatever it is, whether it's gaming or editing or whatever, that's usually when we change the hamster cage. And so we opened it up, and we got to move all the bedding, and we found Raisin. Raisin's fine. Raisin's the chubbier one of the two. And she's like, waking me up for changing or whatever. And we put her in the ball, because what we do is we put them in the balls when we change their cage, so that they can run around on a track. We have 2 tracks they run around in while we clean their cage, and then we put them back in. So it's good, because they actually get exercise while we clean their cage. And then when we went to get Cinnamon, it was not a good sign. She couldn't even move. And so what we did is we kind of took her out of the cage. We have a little side container thing that we used previously if we ever had to move them around, if they were sick or if we needed to separate them. So we put her down in a side container, excuse me. I said sad container because I'm sad. And gave her some bedding, and she basically lasted about an hour or two, and that was it. She passed away overnight. So if you want to see, we made videos of the hamsters when we first got them 2.5 years ago on the King of Hate Vlogs. It's actually under a playlist called Hamster Vlogs. So if you want to see the hamsters, when they were much younger, and they were very active, and we used to do lots of videos of them until people basically got sick of us doing it all the time. You can check that out on the King of Hate Vlogs, and we frequently took pictures of them and posted them up on both of our Instagrams, me and Leanna. So, if you want to check that out, it's instagram.com/theycallmeDSP. You can see all kinds of pictures of the hamsters there. And just recently, in fact, it was just 2 days ago that I had taken, a picture of both of them. They were snuggling together in the house. We got this little hut for them made of hay. And they were, right on top of each other with the 2 heads sticking out of the hole. Oh, they're so cute when they did that. But, so yeah, it was not a good night. Lots of crying, lots of tears, obviously. For me, I've had pets before, and yes, the pets have passed away, but incidentally, this was the first time that I was actually there in person for the passing of the pet. When I had hamsters, previously, when I was much younger, they passed away when I was, at school, and my parents took care of it. And when I had a pet rabbit who lived a good 12 years, I actually had moved out of my parents' house, and I was living in an apartment on the other side of the state when my rabbit passed away. So this was the first time I was ever there in person for the passing of a pet, and it was not a good time. Yeah, it was pretty, just, what can I say? It's a hamster, and you love them. Obviously, it's funny because some people, it's just a hamster, it's not a dog or whatever. Why are you acting like this? It's like, it doesn't mean you don't love them, But, that's life. Yeah, it's life. So this morning I actually took her out and, I wrapped her up in a little towel and we're going to bury her. So, not a good day. And that's why I sound down and that's why I sound sad and depressed or whatever. And, it is what it is. I mean, with fair reason. It's a good reason to be sad. And it's okay to be sad when this kind of stuff happens, If anything, though, what I can say is I'm happy that I'm able to be here with you guys and gals and be able to share gameplay with you to cheer me up, to keep my mind off of it, right? That's good. So, there was an overnight poll, if you're not aware, on my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP, and the overnight poll was neck and neck and neck. Holy crap, was this poll close. It started off, I believe, Gears of War 4 actually was winning the poll overnight. And then it flipped, completely flipped. And then at one point, during the night, it was WWE winning. So I didn't know what was going to happen. And obviously it was the last thing on my mind last night as I went to sleep with all this stuff going on here. And I woke up this morning and it's 50-50. 50-50 tied. I'm like, holy shit. Like, that is going to be a close one. You know, I didn't know. So, I tweeted about 11 a.m. I said, there's 30 minutes left in this poll. You know, get voting. And with about 60 more people voted in the last 30 minutes. Pretty crazy. And, but WWE won narrowly at the last minute. So today we're going to be doing about 3.5 hours of WWE 2K17 My Career Mode. And then later tonight, my second stream will be Gears of War 4's campaign continuing. Alright? Now, I got an update in regards to my PSVR, PlayStation VR. It has shipped. It is en route to me via UPS. Now, right now, it says it's en route to me, but it's probably not going to be delivered until tomorrow, which kind of sucks. It would have been nice if, like, it showed up early as a special surprise, and I would have been able to maybe do a little bit of early stuff, but looks like it's arriving tomorrow. So, sometime tomorrow, whenever it arrives, that's when I'm going to be covering it. Now, here's the thing. If it doesn't show up in time for my first gameplay stream, that means I still have another stream to do, alright? And, oh my god, excuse me. Sorry about that. And, so, we'll see. We'll see what happens. If it shows up, great. All of tomorrow will be the PlayStation VR. If not, then I'll have a first gameplay stream of something, either WWE or Gears. And then to the day after, you know, or later that day or the day after. Oh my god, my stomach is revolting against me here. Oh, that will be... that will be the start of my PSVR coverage, alright? Yes, I did receive the PlayStation Move controllers from a viewer, Michael. So shout out to Michael for donating 2 PS Move controllers for me to use during my PlayStation VR coverage this week. It's going to be awesome. I hope that you are looking forward to it. It's probably going to be hilarious. Because having me this freaking giant headset on and trying to do VR stuff is going to be wild. So, some people are saying, how are you going to stream it? Well, you may not be aware of this, but the PlayStation VR works with the TV. The way it works is it has what's called crowd play, and what that means is it actually has video from the right eye of the PlayStation VR cropped to fit a television screen, and it puts that on your TV. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to have that video out that's supposed to go to the back of the TV, go to my splitter, so you guys on stream and on YouTube watching on demand are going to see that right eye cropped image, and you're going to see me in the corner, picture-in-picture with my webcam. I'll be doing, you know, the VR stuff. You'll see me moving around while I have the full virtual reality experience with the headset, okay? So you're going to see it. You're going to get to capture it easily. I mean, it's very easy to capture from what I'm supposed to understand. It should be pretty good. So it should be fun. And I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you are too. That's going to be a lot of fun. Whenever it shows up and I get to cover it, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And it's going to be multiple days of different games and different stuff for the PSVR. I actually heard it comes with a demo disc of 8 games. So probably the first thing I'll do is play through the demos and see which of those games look good and then go buy them digitally. Because they're all going to be available digitally on PSN. You know, I'll get them right over the network instantly. So, should be pretty cool. Okay. So, everyone, I'm starting late today. I'm sorry. We also had problems with Stream Chat. I'm still having problems with Stream Chat today. I'm not able to use my IRC client today for some reason. It's just not working. I don't know why. So, I'm using the plugin, like a lot of you use. You go to thekingofhate.com and there's the plugin there. You type in a nickname and it joins or whatever, and then you use it, right? That's what I'm using today. So I apologize if there's some issues with Stream Chat today. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't even use my plugin, my third-party program, IRC, to even connect, MIRC, excuse me, to it. I don't know what's going on. So, we'll see. I don't know. Outside of all this, everyone, I really don't feel like doing plugs today. I'm going to be real with everyone. I'm just not up to it. I'm certainly not up to shilling stuff. Obviously, you guys know about the stuff that you can do to help me out. Patreon and checking out Leanna's business, The Black Current, and all of that. And, you know, it's all here on your screen. It's on here every pre-stream. Please check it out. Please consider doing it. This month in particular is important because this is one of the final months of the year. This is one of the busiest months of the year for me. And, you know, hitting my financial goals helps me because for year end, you know, being able to pay my taxes and all that, it's pretty important. So please consider, you know, any of the stuff on your screen right now, in particular Patreon, if you really want to try to help out. But, alright, that's it, everyone. I think it's time. Let me get started. I think if I start playing, it'll take my mind off of everything, and I'll, you know, get lost in the game a little bit. It'll be a good time, alright? I apologize, obviously, for the depressing and sad intro, but, you know me. You know me, I say what's on my mind and I tell you what's going on. Like I say everyone, I am a real guy. What you get through streams and through my videos isn't some kind of a fucking character that I contrived or an act or anything like that. You get the real me, and I like to share stuff with you. And, you know, just particular, today's a shitty day, but hey, let's hope for some good days too, because that's how life is. You got to take the good with the bad and you balance everything out, right? Okay, that's it, everyone. Let us begin with the continuation of my career in WWE. Thank you, everybody.